Before you outsource SEO to an agency, there are a few things you need to know because look, I've personally worked with multiple agencies myself, and now I have my own SEO team where we're helping ambitious e-commerce brands scale with organic search. So I wanted to record this video to explain everything you should consider if you're thinking about getting an SEO agency on board. I'll cover what kind of SEO service you actually need, the red flags to watch out for, how to vet an agency, and how to hold them accountable so you get your money's worth. So let's dive in. How to know what kind of SEO service you need. So before you compare a single agency, the first thing to sort out is what kind of SEO service fits your situation. There are basically three different directions you can go down, and the right one comes down to how much you want someone else to handle SEO for you. First, you've got an SEO consultant, one specialist who builds a strategy and tells your team what to do while your own employees handle the work. That's a good fit if you've already got a marketing team in-house and you just need someone who knows what they're doing, pointing them in the right direction. Then there's a specialist SEO agency, a team that only does SEO and runs all of it for you, both the strategy and the actual work. And the third is a full service agency, one that handles everything in one place, your SEO, your paid ads, your email, and your social, all packaged inside a monthly retainer. Now, a full service agency sounds like the safe choice to make, but it's actually one I'd be most careful with. And I get the appeal because you get one team, one bill, and one place to go whenever something needs to be fixed. The problem is that when your SEO is just one of many services they're handling for you, it usually ends up being the part nobody really focuses on. For example, we had an e-commerce client who we got ranking on page 1 for all the searches that bring in sales for them. Then they left us for a full service agency, and within a few months, their revenue started dropping. By the time they came back to us, those page 1 rankings were gone, and we had to rebuild the structure from scratch and fix everything that hadn't been getting prioritized. So the way to think about it is pretty simple. If you want to take SEO seriously, you want someone who does it all day, every day, whether that's a consultant guiding your team or a specialist SEO agency running it for you. A full service agency can work if your SEO is only a small part of what you need, but if organic search specifically is where you're trying to grow, you want it to be the main thing they're working on. Red flags to watch out for. Once you know the kind of help you want, the next part is knowing the agencies to avoid, and there are a few red flags to be aware of. The biggest one is an agency that guarantees you specific results, like promising you rank #1 or that you'll see results in 30 days. The problem with that is simple. No one can guarantee a specific ranking position because it's Google that decides your rankings, and no agency can control that. Also, SEO usually takes about 3 to 6 months before you ever see a big movement, so anyone promising you the top spot in a few weeks is either lying or about to use tactics that get your site penalized later. Speaking of tactics, the second red flag is the tactics hiding behind those too good to be true promises. To hit those impossible timelines, some agencies cheat the system using methods that Google bans, and in the industry that's called black hat SEO. That's stuff like buying backlinks in bulk or filling up pages with keywords to trick the rankings. It might get you quick results, but when Google catches it, and they will, your site can get hit with a penalty that drops your rankings for months. And this is why the cheapest quote is usually the most expensive one in the long run, because when the price is that low, they're normally cutting corners with the same ban tactics that get your site penalized. Now, those first red flags are pretty easy to spot, but the bigger problems are structural, and you usually only notice them once you've already signed. The first is layers of account managers between you and the people doing the work. When everything has to go through an account manager first, things get lost, everything is slower, and the specialist doing your SEO never even speaks to you. The second is an agency that only reacts instead of getting ahead of things. So they wait for you to spot a problem rather than catching it themselves. The biggest one is nobody paying close attention to your data. I've seen brands come to us from a bigger agency and the Google Analytics hadn't tracked a single thing in months. So if your agency isn't looking at your numbers closely, they've got no idea whether what they're doing is actually working, and neither do you. By the way, if at any point in this video you want us to take a look at the current state of your SEO so you know what needs to be prioritized first, you can book a call with us by clicking the first link in the description. Anyway, back to the video. How to vet an SEO agency. So those are the agencies to stay away from, but now let's talk about finding a good one. And the first green flag is real results in a business like yours. Any agency can show you a case study, so don't just look at a screenshot they showed you of traffic going up and think they have any clue what they're doing. Ask them for results that actually brought in revenue, like more sales or more leads, ideally from a brand in a similar space to you. The best thing you can do is ask to speak to one of their current clients directly, because a good agency will happily connect you and a bad one will probably start making up excuses excuses. The second green flag is that you get to speak directly to the person doing your SEO. This is the direct opposite of that account manager problem I mentioned earlier. You want the specialist working on your site to be the person you talk to, not someone in the middle forwarding you messages. When you're dealing directly with the person doing the work, they're personally responsible for getting you results, and there's no middleman for them to blame if things aren't working out. Now, the green flag that matters most is how an agency reports back to you. A lot of agencies will send you a dashboard full of numbers that look good, but don't tell you anything about your business, like impressions or how many keywords went up a few spots. These are what we call vanity metrics, just numbers that go up and make everyone feel good inside, but don't lead to more sales or do any significant impact for the business at all. What you want is an agency that reports on the things that actually matter for your business, like how much revenue and how many sales your SEO is bringing in. A great sign is when an agency asks for access to your revenue or sales data early on, because it means they want to prove they're actually making you money. The last green flag is whether they take the time to understand your business. A good agency will ask you about your products, your customers, and how people search for what you sell before promising you anything. If they're pitching you a generic SEO package without understanding your niche, your industry, that's usually a sign you'll get generic work back. Hold them accountable. All right, so let's say you found an SEO agency that checks all these boxes. The last part is actually on you, because even the best agency in the world won't get you results if you don't set the relationship up properly. And it starts before you even get on a call with anyone, by setting clear goals and a budget. So I'm talking to you guys. You need to decide what you actually want out of this. That could be things like more organic sales, more leads, or ranking for the specific keywords your customers are searching for. When you know your goal up front, you can actually measure success, and you can tell whether they're delivering results or not. Without that, you have no way of knowing if they're doing a good job, and you'll just be trusting whatever they tell you. The second thing is to go in knowing how long SEO actually takes. Like I said earlier, SEO results usually take at least 3 to 6 months to start actually working, and sometimes longer for bigger, more competitive niches. So don't get upset if you don't see huge movement in the first month, but you should expect to see progress building over that time, like keywords going up and traffic starting to grow. If 6 months go by and nothing at all has improved, that's when you know something's wrong. And the last thing, probably the most important, is to learn enough about SEO yourself so you know whether the work they're doing is any good. You don't need to become an expert, but you should understand the basics of how SEO works so you can read the reports they send you and ask the right questions. When you know a bit about what good SEO looks like, it's much harder for a bad agency to confuse you with technical terms you don't understand or charge you for work that isn't going to get you results. Now, if you'd rather just skip the research and work with a team that already does all of this the right way, click the first link in the description and book a free intro call with me. If it's a good fit, you'd work directly with the specialist doing your SEO, and we report on the revenue and sales your SEO is bringing in, so you always know exactly what you're paying for. On that call, we'll take a proper look at the current state of your organic growth, show you exactly what's holding your SEO revenue back, and walk you through what we do to fix it, and you'd be in good hands. Our SEO has gotten results like growing organic sales by over 300% for Manager Home and by 60% for the Brick Tile Company. We also won the best SEO campaign at the Northern Digital Awards with Pass Me Fast. On top of that, we only take on a small number of brands at a time, so you get our senior specialists working directly on your account. So again, if you're interested in working with us, you can book a free intro call by clicking the first link in the description below this video. And as I mentioned, if you want to get a proper understanding of SEO yourself, so you can tell the good from the bad, then check out this video next.